everybody, happy Friday. I hope that you are having the best day that you can. And today is Friday where we do our tutor tips. And I try to keep it under 10 minutes because I know that you have places to be and things to do. So today we're talking about hacks to get your child's at-home learning space in order. So if you're still doing virtual learning or your child is doing some learning at home, even if it's homework, you are going to want to make sure that space is maximized so that your child can be the most productive and stay out of your hair the most. So they get their work done in the right amount of time, there's less frustration, and that there's more focus, there's more learning going on because that's the whole point, right? It's not just busy work. So let's go ahead and get started. And yes, I have on my blue light glasses because I'm trying to cut down on the strain on my eyes. So you best believe that I have props with me today because I'm talking about my favorite hacks for getting your child's learning space in order. So why don't we get started? First, my favorite hack is to have a old shower caddy or diaper caddy that you put all of your child's school stuff in. So all the supplies that they might need to complete their schoolwork, you're gonna put it in that caddy so that they can access it easily without having to get up multiple times to get supplies or ask you for supplies. So they're gonna be able to not only have that available to them, but if maybe they're moving around the house doing work, maybe they don't have a dedicated space, they are going to be able to carry that with them wherever they go. And cool thing is you can put it like in a closet or something if you're having people coming over, you're trying to declutter. So this is what one looks like that I would maybe suggest getting. This one's like super big and square. A lot of the shower caddies are round and that's kind of harder to put supplies in, but mine has diapers in it because I have babies. But I'm actually thinking about getting another one of these for me because I move my work around the house that I do for Hoffman Tutoring Group. And I'd love to be able to put all of my notebooks and my supplies in here. So things like pins and things like that, you can set cups down inside to be able to hold those supplies, things like scissors, chargers, everything like that. All right, next tip, post the usernames and passwords that your child needs for their schoolwork, either in their learning space or actually on their computer. So a lot of laptops have some space down by the mouse pad. So take a Post-it note, write all of those relevant usernames and passwords, go ahead and tape it to the computer or tape it to the wall, and that way your child has it ready to go. They're not asking you, or they're not spending time having to reset that password every time. It's just a Post-it note. And just having these available so that your child has something novel that they can do work on, or that they can post up reminders about things they need to get done. And when they get it done, they can pull it off the wall and crumple it up. Get a giant pack of Post-its. And I'm going to link a bunch of this stuff in the comments as well, especially the diaper caddy, as well as some other things. All right, moving right along, because again, we want to keep this under 10 minutes. So my next thing is actually one of my favorite things, and it's really exciting to kids, and it's super cheap too. So a personalized whiteboard. So this is something you might want to keep in your child's work area, not only for them to play around on and do like math work on, or use during breaks, but you can also like write reminders on here. If you don't want to buy a whiteboard, which these are cheap on Amazon, you can laminate just a piece of paper and use that as a whiteboard. I know some people use windows as whiteboards. They have like those little dot things that you can paste onto the desk that are whiteboards. But kids love whiteboards, and it can be kind of a motivator to pull this out and let them work on it. All right, my next tip, I don't have a prop for, but it's to have a charging station. So either a charging station that is specific to your child, that's on their desk, or a charging station for the whole family, and get your child in the habit of, when they're done with their schoolwork, taking their devices and plugging them up so that they're ready for the next day. So getting into that habit of taking the device, plugging it up so that it's ready for the next day, then you're not having to wait and like, oh, I gotta plug in my computer, I'm late for the Zoom. it's already ready to go. And kids are usually used to doing this in the classroom anyway. A lot of teachers make their kids take that device and plug it up at the end of the day in like a cart or at a charging station that the teacher has set up. I actually could have brought a prop for this. Those little paper dividers that you see that kind of stack that you use in an office, like usually it's like an in box and an out box. You can use those as things that kids can set their device into, and all the cords can hang out the back. And then there's a place to set all the devices without it being all over the counter. All right, next one. Make sure your child's feet can rest properly on the ground. So if your child's feet can't reach the ground because of the chair height, that's fine, but you can do some things to make sure their feet are resting on something. So using like an old footstool, like the one that you used when they needed to reach the sink to wash their hands when they were little, or using some phone books, some old books, anything that can get your child to be able to rest their feet on the ground. I might actually need to do that for myself because I'm very short, and a lot of times when I'm sitting in regular people chairs, my feet do not touch the ground. And so that's just to keep them at good posture so they're not getting tired and like not getting aches and pains. Like it's just good for all of us to be able to rest our feet on the ground. All right, next, I'm scrolling down because there's lots of these tips. Use like a seat cushion or a booster for your child to be able to be at eye level with the computer. So being able to be eye level instead of like being down here and they're looking up at the computer and they're going like this so that they can type, right? You want them to be at eye level and be able to comfortably type like this. I know a lot of kids type like this, but you know what I'm trying to say. So make sure that they're at eye level with the computer. If you have a really tall kid, you might also want to like boost up the computer instead of boosting them up so that they can be at eye level. I have my computer boosted up on a little box right now, and I'm actually thinking that's probably the right height for me to be able to be at eye level with my computer and type at the right height. All right, last tip, and this is actually one of my favorites. If your child is wiggly, and they are wiggling around all the time, it's really bothering you, they're putting their feet underneath them so that they can go like this. Those wiggle assistant stuff that you see online, like the little cushions that go in chairs, the bands that go on the chair so they can kick their legs on it, those are kind of expensive sometimes. So one of my favorite things to try, if your child is light enough, is a beach ball that you just deflate part of the way, and they sit on this like this, and they can wiggle around their bottom so that they're getting to wiggle, and like they have to kind of try to keep themselves balanced on it while they're working. Some kids need to move when they're learning, and that is totally okay. I know like when we were in school, we were told we needed to sit still at all costs. That's not always the case anymore, and letting your kid move a little bit is okay. So these are just a few of the hacks that you can use when you're trying to optimize your child's workspace. I promise you do not need to spend money. Oh, we cut out for a second, but we're back. You don't need to spend money. You have lots of stuff in your home that you can use already. Just get creative. And it doesn't need to look pretty. We're going for function over flash here. You want it to be a functional space that is decluttered and that works for your child. That's the key here. It works for your kid, not for you, for your child. And that doesn't have to cost a lot. So let me know what you're struggling with your child's work area, or what you found that really works. If you enjoyed this, I would love it if you would share out with your friends. And if you don't want to miss any of these tips on Fridays, make sure that you follow us wherever you're watching, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, because these get pushed out every Friday unless there's something else crazy going on. So thank you for joining me. I think we kept this under 10 minutes. And let me know in the comments what you're thinking about your child's work area, and make sure to hit that like button as well. I will see you next Friday.